All right, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to show you a shoulder mobility workout along with some shoulder exercises. In the last video, I did chest, so go watch that video. I noticed that when I was doing chest, I was imbalanced, and I have shoulder mobility issues in my right shoulder. So today I'm going to show you various ways to test your shoulder mobility and to how you can improve your shoulder mobility. I also want to stress the importance of warming up before you work out, because if you don't warm up before you work out, you won't get as much as you want from the workout. So, just like a car, your body has an engine. And when you don't warm up that engine before you work out, your car will break down. Just like your body will break down if you don't warm up. And later in life, you'll have a lot of issues and imbalances that you won't be able to correct. So, I'm gonna show you these various exercises. We're gonna start off with mobility first, and then we're gonna go into the shoulder exercises. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna test my mobility by putting my hands behind my back. I'm gonna turn around so you guys can see how I'm doing. So I'll show you my good side first, then my bad side. So as you can notice, my fingertips can touch. That's exactly what you want. Now I'm gonna switch. These can touch too. This is because I was doing a lot of shoulder mobility stuff before I did this workout, just to make sure I was doing everything properly. But before I was doing the shoulder mobility today, I couldn't touch my two fingertips together on this side. This side had a lot of imbalances, and now I feel perfectly fine. So now I'm gonna show you how you can improve this. So first we're gonna start out with a unilateral raise. You're gonna take the weights in both hands. One hand's gonna start opposite from the other. So when you're doing this, you wanna keep your arms straight out, and you're gonna turn slowly. And you're gonna try not to move your arm. You're only moving the shoulder, because your shoulder is connected to your lat, so it all works together in one motion. The second thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna take a resistance band. Normally, I would like to do this with a PCB pipe, but I don't have that, so I'm gonna make do with what I have. The farther you hold it apart, the easier it will be. So we'll start off with holding it as far as possible. So you start off down, come back, and go all the way down. Slow and controlled the whole entire time. Now, people that have mobility issues, you'll see them probably go to one side, favor one side. You don't want to do that. You want to go slow and controlled. Now, if that's easy for you, you can go in tighter. Do the same exact thing. It's going to be way harder if you're doing it with a resistance band. It'll probably be easier if you're doing it with a PCB pipe. This next exercise is going to help me stretch my spine. Since my butt is not on the end of the foam roller, I'm gonna make sure I keep it up. I'm gonna do this without weight first, and then I'm gonna do it with weight. So I'm gonna put my arms down here. Now, if I had the weight on it, my hands would be on the ground, and then I'm gonna slowly pull my elbows into my rib cage. This is mimicking how your chest should be when you're performing a bench press. It should be up. You'll see a lot of power lifters, when they bench press, they have an arch in their back. What they're doing is they're retracting their shoulders backwards into the bench, and that helps them with leverage, stability, and that will improve your bench press. So now I'm gonna grab the weight, and you're gonna drag your elbows in as far as possible. Hold it, feel the squeeze, go back out. If you're a beginner, you'll probably want to do that with a 25-pound plate. 45 might be just too heavy to get onto your forearms to do it the proper way. But I definitely recommend doing that with 25 first. But before you do it with the 25, you do it with no weight so you feel how the movement should go, then add weight. And you probably want to do that for 3 sets, maybe about 10 reps, 10 to 12, depending on how you feel. So I did this movement in the last video before I benched. It's going to be an external dumbbell movement. You want to keep your elbow slightly on the inside of your knee. And as you can see, I just did my right side first. That's the side I've been having mobility issues with, because whatever I do on my weaker side, I want to match what I do on my stronger side. If you're having issues with that movement, you can kneel Rest your arm on the top of the bench and come down. The second way you can test your mobility, you're gonna take both your hands. This is called the incline, seated Y. You're gonna raise both your hands, thumbs up, pointing to the sky. You're gonna go all the way up. You're gonna try to pass your ears, and you're gonna hold it there. If you can pass your ears, good. If you can't, that's how you know you have shoulder mobility issues. So now we're gonna do this with 5-pound weights. We're gonna isolate this because I wanna make sure that I'm doing it properly on one side and I'll go to the other. But normally I would do this with both hands. Normally too, when you do shoulder work, keep a slight bend in your elbow. For this, keep the arm pretty straight. So with this, I'm gonna come up slow, 90 degrees. Then we're gonna turn up and then come out. So this is the Y, this is the W. And we're gonna relax at the bottom. Now, if you're gonna do that for an actual workout, I would suggest doing 3 to 4 sets for 10 to 12 reps. So now we're gonna go over to the Cuban press. We're gonna do the same exact thing. We're gonna come up. There's 90 degrees. Come up, and then we're gonna press. Again, everything is slow and controlled. So with the Cuban press, we get the full rotation of the arm, of the shoulder, excuse me. Because when you do it, you come up, then the ball rolls all the way back, and then you press. Now, if you want to be a little bit advanced, after you press, do a shrug. So I'll show you one time like that. So we're gonna come up, 90, back, up, now shrug, come back down, relax. That'll really open up your shoulders. I would do that again before a chest day and obviously shoulder day. So now we're gonna go into exercises that you would do during a shoulder workout. For this next exercise, more than anything, you wanna focus on how your body is placed. So I'm gonna lead with my opposite foot, engage my core, and have a slight bend in my knee. So when you pull, you're not gonna bend your elbow at all. Come all the way up, gonna hold it, go slow on the way back down. Come all the way up, past your ear, slow on the way back down. That's one of my favorites because you don't have to do too much weight. I did 15 pounds. That's perfect because you want to make sure you can get all the way back. You don't want to go too heavy because then you'll start to bend your elbow and then you're not working what you're aiming to work. So now we're going to take a heavy resistance band. I would prefer one heavier than this. But like I said before, we're going to make do with what we have. So you're going to wrap this around probably a pull-up bar. It's your safest bet. Pull it nice and tight. And now you're gonna wrap your arm in. Bear with me while I do this. You want your arm to be wrapped so you don't have to worry about holding it. So now it's wrapped like that. We're gonna come back. Get the full stretch. As you can see, I have a lot of pull on this resistance band because it's not as heavy as I would like it to be, but I'm still getting the full stretch. We're gonna hold that, and then after you do that, you're gonna immediately turn in, come in a little bit closer, and stretch your lat. If you do this correctly, you'll feel it. Both these stretches work your lat You should feel it. Place your hand on your lat so you can feel the stretch. This is that mind-muscle connection I was talking about before. Now, I'm gonna put my arm in like I did before. And as I mentioned before, I would prefer this to be a little bit tighter than what I have right now, but I'm still getting a stretch, which is the main goal. And when you do this, I want you to pinch your shoulder blades back as if you had a tennis ball in between your shoulder blades. I'm gonna show you one last thing with the resistance band, which are face pulls. I'm gonna do this a little bit different than I normally do them. So normally, I would pull with this grip, which should be okay. I'll show you. My shoulders, my elbows are flared out. I don't want that. So I'm gonna pull more with this grip, with my knuckles tucked in, facing each other. And now my elbows are pointed outwards. I get way better stretch that way. Now we're gonna pull over our head. My front delt really activates that way. Now when you do face pulls, this is the perfect band that I would use for face pulls, because this is one where you really need to pull. Where as opposed to the other grip, you want a little bit tighter one so you don't have so much leverage. Because as you can see, I had this in my way, that was blocking me. But this is perfect for face pulls. So I did everything I wanted to show you guys. I know it's a lot to take in one video. Like I said before, we did shoulder mobility and shoulder exercises. So I would recommend doing the shoulder mobility before every time you work out, because it's gonna help all your overhead presses, like the bench press, shoulder press, all of that, things of that nature. If you don't do this, you'll have or develop imbalances in your shoulder, which you don't want. I'm trying to rectify this before I have any injuries, because if you get injuries, then that's time that you have to take away from the gym to get healthy and heal. So that's what you don't want, because if you have to get healthy and heal, then you can't work out at the same schedule as you were before, and then that's gonna stop your gains. So the main goal today was to increase your range of motion. I'm a college student, and if you're not a college student, you probably have a job where you sit at have a 9 to 5 and you sit at a desk. So a lot of times when people sit, they'll hunch over. And that is horrible for when you come to the gym, because you'll naturally be like this, and that decreases your range of motion. You want to stand upright like this, and that's how you'll have good posture and how you won't have any troubles doing overhead movements. So with that being said, make sure you watch my last video, because it's a great example. When I was bench pressing, I think it was my 4th set that I was doing. My last rep on that 4th set was horrible. I was completely imbalanced, and that's not anything, there wasn't anything wrong with my leg drive or anything like that. Like my shoulders were retracted back, all of that. It's just only because I had mobility issues, that is why I was unbalanced. So it's key to warm up before any exercise that you do. I would do shoulder mobility before even a leg day, because you're gonna have a barbell on your back, and you have heavy weight. I just did 225 for my working sets before I did this video, and before I did it, I felt the heavy weight on my back, but my shoulders weren't affected by it because of the mobility work. A lot of people, when they are holding the barbell, they can't hold it in too close because their shoulders aren't strong enough to support that weight. So shoulder mobility movements are crucial. And that's pretty much all I have for today. Stay tuned for more workouts. Probably the next video that you'll see will be a leg day, and I'm excited to bring you guys that.